Please, take it away.
I thought that I've seen it all. I thought that this was just going to be another normal day of Fortnite. I thought this was going to be the normal finals. Apparently, everyone decided they were going to go absolutely hamburgers for no reason. Stompy, this was the craziest clutch of all time. What are you doing, brother? Oh my gosh, the composure needed to pull something off like that. The comeback from recovery, the moment to even pick your teammate up. I mean, oh my goodness, dude. This was next level, bro.
Oh my God. Look, Queasy, Chillax, and Drake, it's an absolute travesty. It is absolutely shocking. You know, there's so many words you can use. Stinker, howler, nightmare. It's everything that could possibly go wrong and worse. Like, you don't lose that. Like, we know Stompy's great. He's one of the all-time greats of EU. You know, back in the World Cup days, he was dominating the land. But he just whipped out his old form right there. That was not even real. That shouldn't have happened, right? If you don't know what just happened, that shouldn't have happened. Nobody should win that if you're Stompy.
Yeah, but he... FNCSs have not put the respect on Stompy's name. The Stompy, alongside Nebs, to pick up the res onto Pink, like, huge big brain play, because that also saved one bullet, right? That hit the shot from, I think it was Queasy, to knock down, which allowed Stompy to be able to win it. Huge, incredible play. Oh my gosh, these teams, they know what's at stake, man. They want the Axe of Champions. They want to win it all. Oh my goodness. We got to talk about some other stuff with Malabuka happening here earlier on in the game. I'm still shaking. Take it away, Love. Take it away.
Look, I just wanted to show people the duality of Fortnite, right? Because you know, we take a look at the game before this when Mr. Savage, you know, they have that amazing win. Everything's going rosy. You think to yourself, oh wow, they contested that steamy, but it's still going great. They've now won 2 games out of 5. Everything's absolutely amazing. But then you get them coming in, landing at steamy the game after, you know, on this massive high, and they get walked through. Malabuka takes out Ref's guard. No real hope there. And Reese, this is one of the big problems that, you know, these teams will have while contested. We talked about the Asian winners who, you know, won FNCS, contested 10 out of 10 times, or 10 out of 12 times, sorry. You know, Mr. Savage and them, they're not going to be able to do this, like, every game. At some point, you just have to think it's not worth it anymore.
No, I know, you got to think so, but there's no other options. Reality, where else are they going to go? Anywhere else they go? They're contested at the same drop, so they might as well keep going where they're being successful. They were in 2nd, and now they've dropped down till 7th for Falcon, Refsguard, along with Andrea and Mr. Savage too now. So that's 5 placements down just by losing off spawn, which is tough. But with the huge clutch, with the huge victory royale from Pink, Nebs, and Stompy, that's pushed them all the way up into 1st place currently. 2 victory rounds to their name, and I want to watch more. I have to see more from this team.
Honestly, I did not come into this weekend expecting to see what we've seen from these 3 players. That clutch from Stompy is going to go down in the history books. That is absolutely unreal. And like you say, Reese, I'm so eager to see now. You know, they've clearly got the hot hand, and everything they do, they're doing so many things right. And look, it's not perfect, right? It's not perfection. There are mistakes being made here and there, but they just have that sort of rhythm and flow right now where they are able to just account for any mistake. And you have Stompy, you know, hitting 1v3s. Like, you can't bank on that. You can't guarantee that every game. But boy, that is just absolutely nuts. You can see the players here now from 11th to 20th. They'll all be watching that thinking, well, look, if they're going to be playing like that, we ain't got a chance. How are we supposed to stop him? You know, if we're going to get into 3v1s and he's still going to win, what are we supposed to do about that? Nevertheless, there are so many games left, but wow, what a performance.
Yeah, and I think a notable thing to add there is that Queasy's team is now in 18th place after that. That looked like a game, like you mentioned, let's be real. They should have won that. They should have picked up the victory royale in the final game, but they ended up second. That would have been 2 additional eliminations to 4 points and another 5 points. So that would have been another 9 points to them, which would have put them up, I think, 6 slots up in the leaderboard alone. So that choke from them could be disastrous for the rest of the leaderboard. They seem to be playing absolutely on form today, but that final little closing out the game, but
that's just the confidence, just absolutely destroyer, and they'll be arguing, we
sure.
you get frustrated at your teammates sometimes, right? They will be so frustrated with each other how they've allowed that to happen, and hopefully it doesn't completely offset their mental going forward, because there are 6 games or so left, right? There's so many games that you can't afford to sort of switch.
Well, guys, you heard the bus, which means we have to go back in the game. I still have to recover from that. Remember, we've got another 6 games ahead of us because we began with 8. So buckle up. We have more action like this up ahead of us. Sancho, Shayo, back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Zeke. And we're trying to recover myself. I mean, trying to check my heart rate here. We're about to get into the throes of Game 7. Shayo, talk about a highlight show that FNCS has put on here for day 2.
I'm trying to recover, brain-wise. I don't remember any of the other games at all, except for that one. The clutch from Stompy. And remember what they did off spawn, Sancho. They defended, they waited, they stayed alive. They have to again. We cannot miss this team in another endgame.
They got a bunker down here. You cannot follow up with your greatest hits of all time. You cannot have one of those tracks that just don't bop anymore. Kha'Zix gets bopped, and Falconly now is going to get a trade right there, but nice Stompy baiting that out there, letting the teammate kind of take the brunt of that force here, and that just may be enough. Oh, nicely done. Wow, Stompy, okay, you're on one now, man. I looked on Twitter just to say, oh, he's on one. They took that. Remember they got pickaxed? You remember that's how we started this broadcast? They got pickaxed, and all of a sudden they're on this new form, reaching new heights. Savage, Revsguard, they're gonna win this Steamy Stocks engagement. But man, my brain is like fried. It's frozen in time. He's frozen in time.
Everyone's back now. Savage winning his fight. Stompy actually going for the aggressive play and winning. The confidence is here. No one's actually, trying to do these weird trades, stay back a little bit, play for info. They're really capitalizing on any opening that they can. Micnup also getting clipped or, completely just clipped. Akumu, it looks like, all the way at Retail Row as well. Benji winning against Exterios. All the patterns we were watching yesterday from the fan favorite teams, the matchups that, a few analysts were predicting would go a certain way. They are going that way now. I mean, it looks like the entire server's back on form.
Yeah, back in the form. I agree with you on that. Day 1, this is what was happening, and it just shows you right there. I mean, Queasy, I think Queasy, like I mentioned in day 1, the pattern that we were talking about from them, Shayo, as you mentioned, that is that they were still in game. They were there taking height. That zone was really difficult. They had it. And normally, I would say 90% of the time, maybe 99% of the time, you don't lose that kind of advantage when you have height, and considering that the low ground was plumb out of mats here. Now Mappy's in trouble here. He's going to feel the pressure from the rest of Joe, Shadow, and Benji. And now we're going back to Force and Siberia Savitor, who have turned around their fortunes here in day 2. But it looks like this is not going to be very fortunate here outside of Retail Row.
Yeah, Trixie, Jaggy, they love to just find teams on rotation or just finishing fights, dive in and pick them up, clean them up. That was their style on day 1. We've kind of missed it, or they've been stopped multiple times, swatted like flies. On day number 2, looks like this time gonna pack a little bit more of a sting all throughout for Forces. His shot club splash charges are completely down. Jaggy tends they might just back off here. They might just want to go for the damage totally, and yeah, that's a lot, about 300 to 400 damage across all 3 players from there. Very good from Trixie, a nice push. Go back the whole way away.
It makes me laugh because all you hear is just the car going, and they're just out, right? They just came on through, did what they had to do, and they're rolling out, and Red Rush is rolling out, and it's going to be one of those games, Red Rush, you just got to do what you can, hold. He does have Mysterios' card, and that's what I learned in NA West. When you have that black bar right there, that means you do have a card there to go. So he has one of those cards so far, and now we're taking a look at Kirachi, which it feels like people will remember Stompy's play the most, but Kirachi right here, it's going to be one thing, and this is what I'm talking about. I'm finally seeing it. Savid was skirting by in day one, no problem. We're living fine. Now,
big drop needs more power, more guarantee of surge damage all the way off of spawn. So yeah, Rifle Savid, so they're getting kind of bullied too. So the big edits, blocks one shot, edits, hits another. Huge. The speed from there is insane. And boom, that's it. Not a single person getting fully eliminated. Yeah, Toos got knocked at the very end, but a very good bait for Stormy and Kiriachi to make that pinch possible.
And if I saw that on VODs, Kirachi definitely saw that as well. Every time you see it, you look at that battle map, you're seeing their tracking, you instantly see that Savid constantly goes all the way down to that dish, rotates through Shantytown, and it's just uninhibited, just easy free. Now he has to pay the toll, and that toll ultimately cost him here in Game 7.
Almost out of a few, but there's so many more games to go throughout this day. Benji, Joe, Shadow, they're going to be alive off spawn for now. Mid game is their kind of tricky spot, getting out of Corny Complex, outside the POI, and moving on towards the end game. That was tough. Stompy, though, yeah, all the way from Season X to now, man is no stranger to winnings. 8 different games he's won in EU. He holds that record, rightfully so, too. I mean, if you've seen the style of play, the zones that he's very good at, and are these mountain zones, like that was very reminiscent of the clutches he had with Chinkin and Aqua all the way back in Season X and previous seasons as well. And he's only on a 2 for the day now. I think Savage's trio is the only one with that 2, and they're in first place off of that game too. So that's just absolutely phenomenal.
People are forgetting that Chapter 1 map had huge mountains. There was a lot of them everywhere. Pleasant Park had like a whole ring of mountains. You're going down towards Tilted Towers, they had their own little ring of mountains. You go to Salty Springs, they had that huge mountain. And then just a little bit dead in the middle, dead center, they have another mountain right there. I could go on and on forever. I mean, we're talking about the glory days. You remember those broken houses right then and there, like south of Loot Lake? That was another huge mountain that Chapter 1 had. But yes, Aqua and Stompy and Chinkin, like you mentioned from Season X, are the champions, but there's so many champions in this lobby, man. So many.
It's been a while, right? Everyone's kind of had their shot at the throne. Some people have called it home for longer. Some are still defending it to this day or trying to even take it back from just a few seasons ago. Lots looking for a double up for second run at the title.
I was going to say here, I'm taking a look as we're getting a taste of the first zone. We're seeing Benji. They were able to confirm Joe. They eliminated Joe. And I'm sorry. Red Rush got confirmed by Joe. There,
okay, I was wondering. Something happened in that team.
My brain is still frozen by Stompy. So also as well as Falcon Lee, his trio has been eliminated. Malibuka has been eliminated. Sai has been eliminated. And then you have Karmi has been eliminated. And Wings and Karmi, day one, they were doing really good, man. I love their aggression into Pleasant Park. They were pushing Coral Castle, but so far their day two, not so great considering that they're now sliding out of the top 10.
Yeah, you're talking about, you know, the difference from day one. The trio's on board right now. Fast Roki, Void, and Karma also had trouble on this day compared to the first. They're going with different tactics now. It's being quiet, looking for a shot here against Toos, the trio that's really good at affecting many later on in the game. If they take out these guys right here, if they even have a little bit of damage to interrupt their loop path, it'll be trouble. But Toos senses something.
Yeah, he's
heard a footstep.
I heard something.
The awareness is just there. Kiriachi will come up and see if he's okay. He'll base up a little bit, and now they hear Void. Void hears the Bills, understands that they're playing a little bit of defense. They might just force this fight.
It basically heard like a branch, like a stick break. Just like that. It's like now it's on high alert, and they're going to go ahead and build up this base and bunker down here. And I think, yeah, you don't want a piece of that. You just know that's going to be one of those fights drawn out. Hey man, sometimes fast food is not good for your diet. I just gotta let you know. I gotta let you know that dirt burger ain't worth it. And as juicy as it is, it ain't worth.
Now Fast Roki just looking somewhere else now. No, it's a lesson in villainy. One of the rules is that you have to be careful. Power. It's not really finding that type of success today. Same thing with Hydro Zest and Backfeet. Always looking to cause a little bit of ruckus, but not be the main target for a lot of fights. And since everyone is playing so passive, so separated right now at this portion of the game, they're having a little bit of trouble also getting elims. When we were watching in day number 1, they had 1 or 2, or they were really influencing, you know, people behind the scenes. They kind of seem like the hidden overlords of the mid game. Right now, they're just kind of a lot quieter.
And definitely they were puppet mastering everybody
Yes.
right there. It's like, you know, there's regulators in this world and there's instigators, and definitely they are instigators. You see that retreat from Fast Roki there. They go right into another trio, and that's Toasty out there in Weeping Woods. So, hey, they didn't get a dirt burger there, but they do get to eat. And they get that maximum Storm Surge with that sniper shot. And Fast Roki is going to get credit for that elimination there. But as you're seeing, 6 trios are already out of this match here. And it's just so interesting. I feel like that previous game kind of felt like a throwaway game. It kind of, like, you know, there's a lot of weird things that was happening because we have the extra 2